I'm very glad to see you today. We're going to be covering better together how community colleges and nonprofits create opportunities. And you'll get to hear how a community college is partnering with a nonprofit to change lives. A couple of housekeeping items to get started with. If you have questions, please feel free to put them into the Q&A or into the chat, and we will get to them as we can. We'll certainly follow up with you after the webinar if we can't get to your question due to time. And without further ado, I'm going to hand things off to Gray DI's superstar, Mary.
Thank you very much, Marianne. Good afternoon. I'm Mary Upchurch, Executive Vice President with Gray Decision Intelligence, and we are delighted to have you join today's webinar. It's not that often that a set of distinct focuses can effectively combine to create beneficial individual outcomes through partnerships developed at the community level, and that these actually can deliver positive results for the business, education, and social sectors within that community and for the people that they serve. Today's webinar is about just that. It's a story that spans 14 years and counting, has been shaped by economic and social forces, and has been most recently reimagined in its evolution as a result of the pandemic. It's also a story of the future of this partnership work and how data application can support and assist with its continued success. I'd like to introduce our speakers today. We have an amazing group of folks that represent organizations that have come together in the way that I'm describing. Let me start first with Dr. Dina Preston-Ortiz. She holds a background in business education and leadership and serves as a business faculty member and program director within the Maricopa Community College District, where her commitment to teaching and excellence has earned her the National AACC Dale P. Parnell Faculty Distinction Award and the 2018 NISOD Excellence Award. Dr. Preston-Ortiz has expanded her impact on a global level, working in 44 countries to provide entertainment and entrepreneurial education services for clients like the Department of Defense and the U.S. State Department. She has also represented the United States as a global lecturer and a workshop moderator under President Obama's Statecraft Initiative, recently traveling to Tunisia to continue her mission. Dr. Preston-Ortiz is dedicated to inspiring others to succeed in dynamic business environments. Jason Weinstein is Executive Director and Chief Officer of Corporate Engagement, leading the Maricopa Corporate College Group team to deliver high-impact training and development solutions for the business community, government, and industries to positively impact the economy. Jason joined the MCOR team in September of 2021 and brings over 10 years of experience working in business services, workforce development, and higher education, with the majority of his time spent in developing new industry and community partnerships and delivering career services. He obtained his undergraduate degree in marketing from St. John's University, where he also earned a dual concentration in international business and integrated marketing strategy. Jason also earned his Master of Science in Education in Higher Education Administration from Baruch College. Abdu Dar is the Vice President of Strategic Partnerships at Fresh Start and is a key driver in the ongoing growth and accelerated development of Fresh Start's mission. Abdu is responsible for building partnerships with companies, employers, and educators who will provide career training, employment, and education opportunities that meet Fresh Start's expectations for the women that it serves to become self-sufficient. He holds a degree in social services from Al-Manar in Rabat, Morocco, where he grew up, and Abdu was awarded his professional certificate in nonprofit executive leadership from ASU. Abdu has over 19 years of experience in the nonprofit field, with the past 8 years being at the executive level. He has held multiple leadership roles and is very passionate about serving others within his community. Finally, Kim McWaters. She is President and Chief Executive Officer of Fresh Start Women's Foundation. She recently retired as the Chief Executive Officer at Universal Technical Institute, the nation's leading provider of transportation technician training. She joined UTI as a part-time receptionist in 1984 and quickly worked her way up the leadership ranks. She was named president in 2000 and in 2003 became CEO. Kim continues to serve on the company's board of directors and is also a member of the boards of Penske Automotive Group and Mobile Mini Inc. She is deeply committed to helping others transform their lives and communities through education, guidance, and support, and is especially passionate about helping women forge a path to success. She served on the Fresh Start Board of Directors for more than a decade. In addition, Kim previously served on the boards of the Boys and Girls Club of Metropolitan Phoenix and Banner Health Foundation. While leading UTI, she earned a Bachelor of Science degree in Business Administration and raised 3 children. Kim took the helm of Fresh Start in the midst of the pandemic and has been the visionary and the leader of its most recent transformation that you're going to learn about today. Kim?
Thank you, Mary. It's wonderful to join all of you, and I'd like to give a special thanks to our speakers and panelists on this subject. And I'll ask if we can advance the slides. Thank you. I want to give just a brief introduction on Fresh Start, a little bit about its history, who, what, and why we're doing what we're doing. And perhaps most importantly now, who we are doing it with. And that will speak to the educational partnerships and career partnerships that we have. What you'll hear are that the themes are universal for all of us participating on this call in terms of trying to help others pursue their educational dreams and just to lift themselves up to achieve, to become their best self. If you can advance the slide, thank you. A little bit about our history. It's a deep, rich history founded by 2 sisters from humble beginnings who wanted to help women like their grandmother, who was a single mom working very hard to raise her family. And she saw in others around her what was possible when women had access to the resources, even when faced with the most difficult of circumstances. So 2 very successful sisters on their own had a salon, a high-end salon in the Phoenix area. And they began by helping others with a boost in self-esteem, with makeovers and wardrobing, believing that if they helped women become more confident in their own selves, that they would be empowered to pursue life-changing transformation. And so it began in the back of a salon, helping women first again move from makeovers and wardrobing to education classes, helping them from a professional development standpoint and just personal development. And the organization ran for about 10 years and identified other women's organizations that they could raise money for to help in this way. So the relationships and partnership were part of the original vision of our 2 founders, the late Beverly Stewart and Pat Petznick. And so for 10 years, they engaged a community to raise money in support of women before realizing that if they had their own center, they could support more women than the back of a salon, and opened a beautiful 25,000 square foot facility in the heart of metropolitan Phoenix. And we've been in existence in this building for over 2 decades. So as we wrapped our last year and have celebrated our 30th year, we've supported more than 50,000 women and have over 50 employed in service of the women in our community. Next slide, please. Our mission is to provide women with the access and resources that they need to achieve self-sufficiency and eventually use their own strength to thrive. And this is in pursuit of our ultimate vision to create unlimited opportunities for women. So as an organization and as a community, we are looking to empower women to succeed. And while some of our work might be short-term focused in terms of helping them out with their most immediate need, Our work is focused on their long-term success and their long-term outcomes, not only for her, but for her children and our community. The women that we serve are motivated to change their lives, and we give them the support and access to the tools and resources they need to do just that. Next slide, please. A little bit about the women we serve. There were over 5,100 just inside of this last fiscal year. 76% of these women are mothers. Most are single moms. They're making less than $25,000 a year per household, and that is if they are working. 2/3 of them are women of color, and the majority have had some form of domestic violence in their lives and survived it. And if they have been faced with this sort of trauma and violence in their lives, we know that their families and children have been subjected to that as well. So as you can see, just with these core statistics, these women are coming to Fresh Start because they truly need a fresh start. And as an organization, we meet them where they're at, and we try to help them on their path to self-sufficiency. As you heard Mary say, next slide, please. We had, as most businesses do, the need for a strategic pivot during COVID. And what we discovered from our population of women who already had significant stress from just their normal circumstances, that everything was amplified, and that they were in fact disproportionately impacted by COVID. So the things that had worked for us as an organization in the past, and the things that had worked for them in terms of job and daycare and access to education, was all really different, and required different resources, different connections, different methodologies and ways of doing things. And we knew as an organization, from listening to our clients, that we would have to look in deeply to understand what it is that we could do to help them, while tapping into any other resources that we might have in the state and across the country, for that matter, to help lift women out of this, this pandemic. So we began to look, next slide, please, Monica. We began to look outward to see what others were doing in the country in response to what women faced. And that was, they had the most precarious employment. They were typically the first to lose their jobs. They were in caregiver roles, often taking care of their parents and their children, and having to spend time without being compensated in these critical roles. The population served already faced a situation with domestic violence in their homes, and now they felt trapped and were unable to escape. So the combination of these circumstances, both emotional and physical, really compounded during these periods of isolation. And so we knew that on top of everything that they were facing, that we needed to really understand how to address their mental health in a different way, because the depression and anxiety they were facing was all consuming, such that it was not really possible for them to go about their normal and daily routine. And so, next slide, please, Monica. So as we began to look across the country, and we researched many, many models of successful organizations who were helping to lift women and families out of poverty, we wanted to find a model that actually demonstrated success and long-term outcomes, and understood what might be happening to a population who needs even more help coming out of the pandemic. And what we discovered was that when we looked across the organization, there was one thing in common with all of the models that we were most attracted to and saw the greatest success. And that is that their model was based on economic mobility pathways, an organization who has 100+ organizations as part of its network, and I think 1,000 members. But this organization really focused on the things that we wanted most, and it aligned with our mission and what we believed our clients needed. But it also forced us to think through different ways, innovative ways to deliver this education and to change the way in which we interacted, not only with our clients, but with the community in which we operated in. And so the beauty of this model recognized that what we all knew as just human beings going through the pandemic, that when you're under chronic stress, it impacts your executive functioning skills. And so decision-making is compromised. And what will happen then is that you're not making the most decisions or the best decisions, and that you're unable really to, I'd say, multitask or balance all of the things that, you know, that you might face in a normal day. So this model took into consideration what our communities needed, our women, and then we taught our team how to understand what was happening to the brain, and how to help our clients understand that, so that she could lift herself out of the moment and see what was possible for the future, such as education and career possibilities, and what being in a place of self-sufficiency really meant. And we'll tell you a little bit about that in just a minute, but we launched our model in September of 21, again, using the vast majority of this information from economic mobility pathways. We taught all of our staff to understand the impact of trauma and chronic stress on the brain. We built up a team of social workers, which was really the basis for our organization to begin with, who developed one-on-one direct coaching and counseling sessions with our clients. And they used a bridge to self-sufficiency that we have adopted, and this is an evidence-informed model that uses goal setting across a number of pillars in an effort to get to a place of self-sufficiency. So they're across 5 key areas of life. And even as stressed as she might be, we still believe that she is the best architect for her future. And so together with our social workers, we will work through and across the bridge to set the goals, to help her dream of what her life can be. And then we will help her try to achieve that. And all the while we're doing that and setting goals with her and helping her build her life plan, we as an organization are providing wraparound services and support across these pillars, which you'll see in a moment. Next slide, please. This is the bridge to self-sufficiency, and we focus on these 5 pillars, the first being family stability. And really, this is just to make certain that the family is stable, that she is safe, that they're able to meet the basic needs of the family and of the children. We will help provide resources and access to other agencies should she not be able to meet the needs necessary. I'd say the most basic and essential needs, because it's very difficult to move beyond that without having those needs addressed. And once she is in a place of stability there, we really focus on the health and well-being, recognizing that both physical and mental health is critically important to her navigation on this bridge, as well as how to build up networks and friends and support of her journey. And you'll see that that becomes a critical success piece to women, our clients in this path, or on their pathways to education and careers. So the third pillar is financial management, and that's really just helping her sort through her finances. Oftentimes she does not have a checking account even. There is no cash left over. They're not able to make their bills. So it's difficult to even plan for a budget when you know you don't have enough to cover the expenses. But we help her through that, and again, to see what's possible and building from what she does have. And again, with all of the coaching. The fourth and fifth pillars were part of the innovation that Mary was speaking to. And that is really taking this to the next level and helping our women get access to education and training that we as an organization are not able to provide, but how we might support her on that path, which would become a strong education and a career pathway. So when we stepped back and not only looked across the United States as far as a pillar or a program went, we also looked internally to ensure that it was aligning with our mission. And we felt really good about pillars 1, 2, and 3, that we had done that well. And then we had a standout partner for 14 years with Paradise Valley Community Colleges that really showed us what was possible, and that if we could build from all of what we've learned the last 14 years in partnering with this this school and these people, that we could create this possibility for others. And then we could focus on the jobs and where the employment was, and truly how to get her to a self-sufficient wage and living. And so, next slide, please. So we looked at our small business startup program in combination and in partnership with Paradise Valley Community College. And that is led by Dr. Dina Preston Ortiz, as we mentioned. And she has been so wonderful in helping so many women over the decades find success in this program. And what you'll see at the bottom of the page there is that this is a 14-year partnership that measures a 93% completion rate. This is not just a 2-week program. This is a 9-month program that requires tremendous commitment, both online, in person, with our team members doing their individual, but also collective program work to get to a place of success. And I would love to be able to transition to Dr. Dina Preston Ortiz, and I'm not certain if she's on yet with the telephone connection.
So we apologize to everyone. Dr. Preston Ortiz is encountering some rather severe technical difficulties, and hopefully we will be able to have her join. But in the interim, what we will do is, Kim, if you would stay on, we're going to open this also up to Jason as well as Abdu. Well, no, Monica, if you please go back. We're going to go through this section, please. And we will
I'm sorry, Mary, to interrupt you. I do have her on speakerphone if you are ready for her. I don't know the quality because we're kind of just doing this by the seat of our pants, but she is definitely here.
Perfect. Dina?
Yes.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining, and thank you for overcoming all of those obstacles. We are on your entry slide, and since you're on the phone, I imagine you cannot see us. So if you wouldn't mind just letting us know as you're speaking to your slide, we will flip in accordance with what you want to address. Okay?
I think we lost her a moment. Let me get her back.
Okay. And thank you, everyone on the webinar
Okay.
for your patience.
Okay, I think we have her back, right, Dina?
Yep, got disconnected. We're good to go.
Monica, if there's anything you can do to up the volume, that would be terrific.
Okay.
Can everyone hear me okay?
Yes, much better. Thank you.
All right, awesome. So I can't see the slide presentation going on right now, but if it's okay with everyone, we can go ahead and move to Paradise Valley Community College mission and program highlights. Are we all good with that?
Yes.
All right, awesome. So Paradise Valley Community College is committed to a well-rounded educational approach. Our mission really is about educating the whole person. We believe in fostering growth in all aspects of student life. We believe in community engagement and building strong, connected communities like we have with our Fresh Start Women's Foundation partnership. It's really central to our values. We also believe in lifelong education. We believe that education is a journey, and we're dedicated to supporting lifelong development. And I think not only do we believe in that, but educators continue to get educated as well and go to school. So it's really important for us to model this for our students as well. We're also supportive of inclusivity and access. We strive to ensure that education is accessible and inclusive for everyone. And one way we do that, of course, is by reaching out and offering our certificates to our on-site partners, just like Fresh Start Women's Foundation. We want our students where they are at. Key statistics, according to our latest PVCC fast facts from spring 2024, include that our student body is diverse and committed. Right now, we have about 5,600 accredited students. After the pandemic, we are starting to grow again, indicating our community's trust in Paradise Valley. In terms of enrollment, about 25% of our students are full-time, while 75% balance their studies with other commitments as part-time students, just like our Fresh Start students do. Demographically, 56% of our students are female and 42% are male, reflecting our inclusive approach. A significant 42% of our students are first in their students to graduate and attend college. So this is really exciting. We have 43% of our students are first students. So that we love that. And it allows us to, and it also highlights our role in opening new doors and new opportunities for our community members. And then finally, our small business startup certificate program, which we offer at Fresh Start. This program really is about helping women entrepreneurs walk out with a business plan. It's a hands-on approach for them to learn how to create a real business plan to prepare them for success, or what we call entrepreneurial success. And finally, the other thing the Small Business Startup Certificate does, it allows students to place a certificate on their resume, because we know that for whatever reason, if a student decides not to start their business when they're done with the program, we know that small businesses hire more collectively than corporations do. And we know that small businesses tend to be more forgiving if there is a flip on a student's resume. So either way, this is a win-win for our students. All right, we're going to head over to the role in the small business startup. So this program was developed actually in 2008 during the Great Recession, if you all remember that. A colleague and I had a student come into our offices. She was a single mother with 2 children at home. She had just been fired from her job. And it wasn't likely, because it was a Great Recession, that she was going to get another job soon. So she wanted to start a business. And when we looked into our system, we found that we didn't have a short-term certificate that would allow students to get their businesses up and running quickly. So my colleague and I, as small business owners ourselves, decided that we were going to put together a certificate, which we did. And we developed accelerated hybrid classes for this program. And the other thing we wanted to do is we wanted to reach out to our community members, not just to offer it on campus. So at that time, we reached out to Fresh Start Women's Foundation, and we started this wonderful relationship. In terms of faculty expertise, our faculty bring a wealth of knowledge and industry experience. They help students gain practical insight through mentorship. All of our faculty members not only have the academic background, but most of them are small business owners, or they have industry experience. We also have student support services. Most of the faculty members in the program, especially with our more difficult classes, offer tutoring services Tuesdays and Thursdays during their classes. And of course, we also have the tutoring service center that we can set up for our students when needed. In terms of student services to support Fresh Start client success, we offer counseling, online resources, technology support for our students, because sometimes we have students coming in that are not familiar with technology. We also include laptop assistance. So if we have students that don't have laptops, we can actually lend them one for the duration of the program. We want to make sure that the students have every kind of tool that they need in order to be successful. And then special support for Fresh Start women entrepreneurs includes a cohort model. So we build a strong community of learners because we start our cohort in September and they go together through the whole program. Not only offering peer support and collaboration, but oftentimes these women become partners in business where they're relying on one another as they go into the business world. We also have business planning expert advice through our Entrepreneurship Education Center. We have networking opportunities for our students, again, through our Entrepreneurship Education Center, and also tailored resources. So we have industry professionals from all walks of life that they can reach out to and that we can connect them with. All right, so we're going to head on to slide 3, the power of the partnership. It absolutely does show in our students. I'm proud to say that I've been doing a 1-year post-completion survey, a longitudinal survey, every year since the beginning of this program. And I just finished our last one this past summer in August. And what the survey has shared with us is that 90% of the participants in the Small Business Startup Certificate are now starting or operating their own businesses, which is really exciting. 53% have reported an increase in earning from $5,000 up to $75,000. 83% of them find the program very useful or extremely useful. What the U.S. Senate Committee on Small Business Entrepreneurship is telling us is that women-owned businesses are a growing economic force, and we are so proud to partner with Fresh Start Women's Foundation to be a part of this community. They account for 39.1% of all U.S. businesses, which is about a 13% increase from 2019. They generate $2.7 trillion in annual revenue and employ 12.2 million. So they're absolutely a driving force in small business. From 2019 to 2023, the growth rate in firms' employment and revenue have outpaced that of male businesses. So we are really doing some exciting things as small women owners. And then, of course, our last slide that I want to share with you, my favorite thing to do is always to highlight a student. And we have so many wonderful students, but I wanted to point out Beth Eckel to you. She actually came to us about 3 years ago, and she was a student that had just graduated or was coming out of the Art Institute in Spain. She had this wonderful talent, and she wanted us to help her figure out a way to make money with her skill and with her talent. So in the program, she developed her business, Anatomy of Art Gallery. And what she does is she offers anatomically correct artwork for patients, for healthcare providers, for hospitals. And when she came to us, she was originally just drawing artwork, which was beautiful. But while she was in the program, she realized that she needed to create prints, and she really needed to learn how to build on that artwork so she could actually make a living from it. She not only won the Innovation Challenge, which is a local competition at the college where our Fresh Start students compete with all their other college students that are starting their own businesses or have entrepreneurial ideas. She not only won that pitch, but she also was moved forward to the CEI Phoenix Downtown Facility, which is Entrepreneurship Center, and she won first prize $5,000 in the big pitch competition. And she is just an example, a wonderful example of what our Fresh Start students do. Even in the Innovation Challenge, which we just had here in fall for all of our college students at PV, out of the 3 winners, 2 of them were Fresh Start students. I think the year before that, they actually swept the Innovation Challenge, and all 3 winners were actually Fresh Start students. So we're super proud of the work that our students are doing, super proud of the faculty, and of course, we could not do this without the support of our Fresh Start partners, and we appreciate everything that they do for us. We talk regularly. We make sure that the discussions we have are always in support of what can we do to help our students succeed. And so with that note, it's been great talking with everybody, and appreciate you letting me talk through the phone. We've been having a little bit of technical difficulties, but like our students, we will always rise above the challenges. So thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you very much. Kim?
Thank you, Dr. Dina Preston Ortiz. You are amazing, and we are so appreciative of all that you give of yourself to your students, the community, and specifically to Fresh Start. We are truly blessed to have had as many years in this partnership, and a partnership that is a relationship is one of learning and learning what works and what doesn't, and being able to innovate around it. And so I'm proud to say that as we began to pivot and look forward as an organization, we use the success of this model to define any model going forward. And Dina talked about the power of the cohort, the sisterhood of people coming from similar backgrounds and circumstances to navigate the path forward together is being critical. And she's done a great job in that regard. And we're so appreciative of the flexibility of Maricopa Community Colleges in helping us deliver these programs to our population in a way that is most successful for all of them. So if we could just go back to the bridge as we move forward through the next part of this presentation, and my colleague Abdu's going to join in this part. Monica, if you'll move the, thank you. I just want to bring this front and center again. It's core to our work, and it's what we focus on, believing that all pillars must be strong for the bridge to stay intact. And I mentioned to you previously that the first three pillars were really built on 3 decades of success, Fresh Start in the community. From an education and training standpoint, we tapped in to the success that we had with Paradise Valley Community College and looking in terms of ways to build that. What we did not have yet was a full understanding of what jobs were out there, what employers were willing to partner with us, where the high growth industries were, where there might be a shortage of talent, what level are women needed to be at in terms of wage to be at a self-sufficient level. And we started at the beginning to understand what would a single mom with an infant need to make to help us define the career path as well as the education path. If you can flip the page, please, Monica. So this was our starting point. And again, this is in Phoenix, Arizona. This was the Maricopa County self-sufficiency standard wage. For a single mom and infant, she needs to make $28 an hour to be considered self-sufficient. Minimum wage in Phoenix is $14.35 an hour. And as I mentioned at the beginning of the presentation, our women entire household income is less than $25,000. So even to get to minimum wage is a big jump, but we set our sights higher in terms of being in a position to try to identify what education paths and what career paths would give her the best access to becoming a self-sufficient woman and mother. And that is where we started to envision what this might look like. Please flip the slide. And we knew that if we could create a win-win-win for all of those in the community, which is exactly what you heard Dina describe, is agencies, nonprofits working together with educators and schools like we see with the Maricopa Community College system, and then having a connection point with employers in terms of who needs a talented workforce, which we know they all do, that this would create a win-win-win for our community. And, you know, we talked about the 9-month program with PVCC, but we at Fresh Start are encouraging women to continue their education. Some just need a job now and they need to find success. And we need to help them find where those successful paths might be. And I will say at this time, I'm going to turn it over to Abdu, and I'll share with you how Gray DI helped us use some of their tools to identify where those jobs are at, and how we might be able to partner with the education system in our area and agencies to really capitalize on that. Abdu?
Thank you, Kim. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Abdu Dar. I'm the Vice President of Strategic Partnerships at Fresh Start. And in my role, I work to build meaningful partnerships with educational institutions and employers. The goal here is to identify workforce opportunities in high demand and growing occupations and develop programs that help our clients transition into these fields. In the upcoming slides, I will talk about how we identify these workforce programs. So before I reach out to the employers or education partners, I start by researching what industries and occupations are truly in demand and expanding in the communities we serve. This foundation helps ensure we are directing our clients toward opportunities that align with their needs and ambitions. Next slide, please. One of the tools I rely on for this research is the program evaluation system from Grade AI platform. It's an incredible, valuable resource that helps us understand trends and tailor our workforce programs to the clients that we serve. At Fresh Start, I mainly use 3 dashboards on this platform to guide our planning. I have explored all the dashboards and they are very valuable, but for the main focus that we do at work, I focus on the non-degree demand from Coursera, Udemy, as well as the job posting insight. In regards to the job posting dashboard, this is crucial for us because for the population we serve, we focus on providing pathways through short-term certifications that gives them the skills that they need through the job posting insight dashboard. I'm also able to filter and find specific information relevant for our need. Next slide, please. So as you see in front of you, for instance, I can narrow down data by year, by quarter. I can select our service area. I can filter by industry, company, degree level, and skills. I can even pinpoint the specific qualifications employers are looking for in our region. With these filters, I get a clear picture of the job market in our area. I can see which industries are hiring the most, which roles are and skills are in demand, and the salaries for these positions. Next slide, please. So with this information, we can identify industries and jobs that are growing, along with the skills required to excel in them. This data-driven approach allows us to design meaningful workforce programs for our clients, ones that truly align with the market needs. Having this knowledge, I can then connect with our partners at the community college to discuss their program offerings and see how these align with the skills needed in the market. And as you see in front of you, I can identify the top 5 industries, the skills that go along these industries or occupations, also who are the companies who are hiring in this area, and I can look into the salaries for these job postings or the skills. So that way, when we identify the opportunities, we wanted to make sure that we're selecting the ones that are growing, in demand, and also they pay well. So for us, this is the ultimate win-win-win. Our client received targeted training that leads to a strong job prospect. Education institutions, they get to work with the students and give them the education that they need. And we're really proud of the success rates that we have achieved through the cohort model. And then for the employers, they get a pipeline of talent that is ready. They have the skills that are needed. And we feel that this combination or this work together just really is a true win-win-win for everyone. And I'll turn it back to Kim to talk a little bit more about some of our success stories.
Thank you, Abdu. So as you heard, being able to have access to that data and make data-informed decision helps us not only identify the educational pathways, careers, and employers, but it also helps us begin to shape the vision of what our women see as their futures. And so once we understood what those areas of opportunity were in our community, we started, I would say, traditional marketing, online marketing, to put these possibilities in front of our clients. And we've given you a lot of statistics today in terms of who our clients are. And there is a really strong match with those of the student population at community college. But I will say what we're all looking for is 100% committed to their future, who are resilient, who have overcome life's challenges or barriers, who have the grit and persistence to continue to stay in school, in the program, and graduate. And so again, leveraging what we learned with our partnership, we began to introduce some short certificated programs in partnership with the Maricopa Community College System. And if you'll switch the page, please. One of the first that we launched, and this was in combination with Mesa Community College and Intel, was a quick start semiconductor technician program. And most of our women did not even know what semiconductors were. Or what their role might be. And so we began to promote this opportunity for access to education and what this meant with the support of Intel and Mesa Community College behind it. And we were thrilled with the success. Our first class, you can see this cohort of all women. As we mentioned previously, 100% completion rate. There was 100% fill rate. We had the class full. All of them completed, and 92% were employed. And when you think about just this population's average income, there were 28,000 a year was their average. And upon completion and their job placement, they moved to 43,000. If you look just at the incremental income of those women over 5 years, that's another $1 million into our community. And you can see the difference of the partnership of a nonprofit such as Fresh Start partnering with an educator and partnering with an employer. And I would love to show you an example. I think Monica is going to pull up one of our success stories, and her name is Laura. So she is a client who completed one of the semiconductor 2-week boot camp programs and started on this journey. And most recently, is it going? I'll tell you the rest of it when we finish the video, because I know Monica's got it queued up. But meet Laura. We can't hear, I don't think.
No volume.
Molly, I think you need to unmute Monica.
Her name is Estella.
This is the story of a courageous, strong, and resilient Fresh Start woman.
My name is Laura Javalera. I am a 25-year-old single mom who lives in Glendale, Arizona. Her name is Estella Espinoza, and she is 4 years old. She loves to dance. She loves to play. She's super smart.
But before her daughter was born, Laura's younger years were rocky. To escape a physically abusive father and a mother with addiction problems, Laura left home at just 15 years old.
My dad would beat us. He would beat my mom a lot.
At 19 years old and living on her own, Laura worked 3 jobs in the food industry to make ends meet.
I was in the process of getting my high school diploma. And yeah, I had found out that I was going to have a baby girl.
Still, Laura got her high school diploma just before Estella was born. Laura married Estella's father. That marriage lasted 3 years.
It didn't work out just because he did a lot of emotional abuse. It still was very heavy on my mental health.
Laura also struggled with postpartum depression.
I wanted something more. I wanted to become something and not just a stay-at-home mom waiting for, my husband to come home, or maybe he's not going to come home. It was definitely hard.
Laura needed support and a new beginning. Her mom told her she should look into Fresh Start.
Even though I had this newborn baby, I still felt useless. Like, yeah, my daughter depended on me, but like outside of that, like, who am I? And I would constantly like look through the Fresh Start website and see all these classes, and I would sign up.
It took a while for Laura to get the courage to walk in and start. But then, over time, Fresh Start provided counseling and social work, family law support, training in financial literacy, and job skills.
And I realized technology was something that I really, really enjoyed doing. So I took a lot of classes from Fresh Start.
Laura completed the Quick Start Semiconductor program at Mesa Community College in a class filled with other Fresh Start women. Laura's hard work and resilience paid off. With 9 other Fresh Start women, Laura was offered a full-time job as an apprentice in Intel's first ever manufacturing technician apprenticeship program.
I'm starting with Intel. That's crazy. I never thought I would get to this point ever. I never thought I would even get out of the industry, out of the food industry. I want to break out of this generational cycle that we're constantly in, living paycheck to paycheck. I want to show even my siblings that they can do it. I want her to be this strong, independent woman, and hopefully I can teach that to her. I hope that one day she looks up to me, and that's my only goal. There's nothing wrong with, reaching your dreams. And that's something that I kind of lost faith in a long time ago, and Fresh Start has helped me regain that.
Laura's next goal is to make the dream of home ownership a reality. And Laura can't wait to learn and grow in her career at Intel.
I'm so proud to say that I am a product of Fresh Start. Every time someone comes up to me and is like, how did you get here? Fresh Start. Fresh Start is my first and only answer.
So thank you, Monica. Laura is a perfect example of the women that we serve, but also of the students that we all want to serve and the workforce that employers want to have. And so there are many Lauras out across the state and the country who are seeking our sort of help and the help that educators and employers can provide. And what's really exciting in really looking at how the role in relationship changed with Maricopa Community Colleges. You heard from Dr. Dean and Preston Ortiz about how they helped us innovate and deliver the classes at our facility. And it's worked wonderfully. But we could not create clean labs and fabricating place to train semiconductor techs any more than we could create a cable harness wiring program in our facility. So that the relationships with Maricopa Community College and other employers has gone to a new level. And we are continuing to provide the wraparound services, and Maricopa Community College is giving us access to more and more programming so that our clients have multiple paths to success. And I'll close on one last success story before handing it over to Jason, and he can talk more about what they're doing, because in Arizona, having Maricopa Community College and Maricopa Corporate Community College partnership has been incredible. And Kimberly Rush is another example. This is in another program, our cable harness wiring program through Mesa Community College. It's a 2-week program. It's certificated as well. And she had a similar path in the food industry, attended a program, had no idea what a cable harness wiring program was, thought she would be swinging from poles, and decided maybe not until she understood more about the career. And she took this program and it's changed her life forever. She refers to herself as a rocket scientist because she works at PacSci, producing all kinds of parts for aerospace and the defense industry. And when she started, she was making $22 an hour. That has since increased significantly, and she has become a spokesperson for us in terms of policy discussions at both the state and federal levels, given the changes that she has been able to experience by the partnership that exists with Maricopa Community College and the good work that we are able to do together. So I would like to hand this over to Jason Weinstein and to tell us a little bit more about Maricopa Corporate College and Maricopa Community Colleges.
Yeah, thank you, Kim. Let me start my timer because I could talk for days. Hey, everybody, my name is Jason Weinstein. I'm the Chief Officer of Corporate Engagement for the Maricopa County Community College District. In that role, I also serve as the Executive Director of what we call Maricopa Corporate College. You'll hear me refer to MCOR quite a bit, and that's just the acronym we use for the corporate college. At Maricopa Community Colleges, we can move to the next slide, please. At Maricopa Community Colleges, our mission is to ignite talent, transform lives, and enrich communities through teaching, learning, and service. And as I listen to Kim and Dr. Preston Ortiz, it's no accident we're all here working together because there's such synergy in our missions as organizations. You can see here we serve a very large county of over 9,000 square miles and 4.5 million people. Maricopa County has metropolitan, urban, rural communities. So bringing access to education across the entire county requires a lot of work. But you'll see that we have 10 main campuses throughout the county. With our 10 main campuses, we also have 31 satellite locations. So we take a regional approach to our work, and you can see there on the map where you see Mesa and Chandler Gilbert, where some of the programs that Kim was just talking about are in the East Valley, Scottsdale there. Then you could see up north, Paradise Valley is a satellite campus. We have Central Valley covered with Gateway and South Mountain, and of course in the West Valley there, Estrella, Glendale, and so on. So we're one of the largest community college systems in the country. I think we are anywhere between number 3 and 2 and 5 at any given time. So I always say 3. But we definitely take a regional approach to our work. And one example of that is the Semiconductor Technician Quick Start program. Whenever we're working to stand up an industry responsive workforce development initiative in our system, we want to make sure we're training a talent pipeline that encompasses the entire valley, not just one region of the valley or another. Because in the semiconductor space, for example, we've had some really big companies move in. Their entire supply chains are moving in with them, and they're not really isolated to any one area. So we want to make sure we're bringing access to that type of education across the entire valley. In the semiconductor technician example, we launched that project out there in the West Valley where you see Estrella Mountain, and as far east as Chandler Gilbert and Mesa. So right there, you can see that we have the full valley covered, and we have other programs like at Rio and things that also work in that space. So we definitely take a regional approach and a sector-based approach to our work. We organize our academic programs by fields of interest. So our students are picking a field of interest that they like to pursue that correlates to different industry sectors that we're looking to serve. One fun fact about the work, one of the projects I'll be talking about today in our district is, I'll share a resource following this, but one of the projects I'll be talking about was recently highlighted in the U.S. Department of Education. They have a Unlocking Career Success Mayor's Playbook, which has been recently renamed to the City and County Playbook, and the Route to Relief project, which we're working super closely with Fresh Start on. That's actually, to Kim's point, almost as expanding access to all our academic programs across all 10 community colleges from a single space, which I'm excited to talk about. But that was recently featured as a best practice for that model, and I'm proud to represent the team that helped design and implement that model. I also just want to shout out Leah Palmer, who's our executive director, an amazing woman who she leads our Arizona Advanced Manufacturing Institute, where the cable wire harness program started, where the semiconductor technician started, and Leah was just recently named Arizona's 2024 Manufacturing Champion of the Year by the Arizona Manufacturing Council. So we're really proud to have Leah kind of in our family. We can go to the next slide. I think, thank you so much. So there's not a lot on this slide, but there's a lot here, and I'm going to try to be quick. So our corporate college, again, which we refer to as MCOR, is not an accredited entity like our 10 colleges. We are a training provider, but we operate in the non-credit space, meaning our programs don't earn individuals college credit, but if they earn an industry credential in a non-credit program, that industry credential can be translated for college credit through what we call prior learning assessment. But we operate in the non-credit space, and generally our students are employees of corporations, government entities, nonprofit organizations. We do a lot of upskilling and reskilling type work for employees or organizations that are looking to upskill their workforce. Very leadership development and Microsoft Excel, all the way through like very specialized, even customized technical training for a lot of like our manufacturing clients. And we leverage all the talent across Maricopa community colleges in terms of people like Dr. Preston Ortiz and others that have expertise in spaces that we're looking to serve our clients in. But really, it's our other purpose that I'm here to talk about. And that's how the corporate college serves as a district asset and a resource to our 10 community colleges. And that's really where our partnership with Fresh Start has flourished, is in that space. I like to think of, when we talk about Route to Relief in a minute, and then when we think about supporting the colleges, I like to say MCOR, we like to take on a lot of the administrative technology functions, help automate things and give capacity back to the campus-based resources so that they can focus on the teaching and learning and student success. And we're trying to almost serve as like a help desk on the back end. So I like to say, even though you may not hear MCOR's name or see us all the time, 9 times out of 10, we're behind the scenes helping drive multi-college initiatives forward in the workforce space. So in the semiconductor Quick Start program, for example, our team helped create what we call a single front door, which is super relevant to our work with Fresh Start. We built the workflows and the communications that helped create for a seamless student journey. And we also work to centralize data for reporting out. And over the next 2 years, we're going to be behind the scenes helping expand to a level 2 and actually onboard more colleges into that space now that that industry sector has more jobs here that are industries looking to fill. I'm going to talk a lot about Route to Relief, and I'm going to begin my conclusion here because there's a lot to unpack here, especially our work with Fresh Start. And we're really proud of it. And I feel like I'm getting to know Abdu more and more. He's become my go-to for invitations to industry events and things. I feel like we've been attached at the hip since Route to Relief started. So Route to Relief is a $15 million investment. 12 million of those dollars go directly to students. We can actually go to the next slide because I'm probably going to segue there in a moment. So thank you. Here's the eligibility, and you could see the resources, a lot of investment per student. So the Fresh Start participants, for example, that are eligible for Route to Relief can get up to $5,000 in tuition, which at our community college district pretty much covers a full certificate of completion. And they even get up to 6 months of stipend so long as they're advancing satisfactorily in their program. And there's a lot of wraparound support, especially for the Fresh Start participants, because they're getting all the great work of Fresh Start, and then they're getting our team of career navigators that are also checking in with them monthly. But we actually coordinate and complement our processes together, which I'm about to talk about too. But the thing about Route to Relief and why it's so special is because we have 10 colleges that are independently accredited, and they often have 10 different processes for admissions, enrollment, and things like that. We have developed a centralized model where we have a single front door that we bring all our participants into, a very streamlined workflow that puts a Fresh Start participant directly with the career navigator. And then we've managed to centralize all of our admissions, enrollment, and advisement functions right here out of our district office. So we're not sending Fresh Start participants to 10 different colleges to navigate different processes. We're managing it all between 2 human points of contact for them right here out of our district. So it's a very centralized model with a single front door. And those are 2 really innovative things that we've been able to accomplish as part of this work. When it comes to Fresh Start, we have a landing page where we actually have a drop-down menu that women of Fresh Start can identify themselves with the organization, and that Fresh Start was their referral source. That enables us to prioritize their service, and also enables a feedback loop between us and Fresh Start staff. So we're able to monitor success and things like that through that ability to identify them with Fresh Start. Also, at the beginning of Route to Relief, our teams met to understand better what was the process that Fresh Start used, how did that align with what our Route to Relief process was, and where can we find synergies to exchange information so that we weren't asking Fresh Start women to fill out the same type of form multiple times. We wanted to really figure out how to streamline the process, and we worked really closely up front on the front end of this project to make that happen. So really complementing our processes and streamlining them even more for women of Fresh Start. Fresh Start staff and Fresh Start participants also have, as I said, dedicated points of contact. So there's a human they can call or email at any time, which is another part of this workflow that's really kind of different. It sounds simple, but it's actually a very innovative thing we've been able to accomplish with such a big system. And there's over 60 occupational training programs that are eligible for Route to Relief. We've highlighted 3 or 4 here, but we actually have over 60 of them that all lead to industry credentials across all 10 colleges. So a lot of different things we had to apply in this service model. We work super planfully with Fresh Start towards the end or beginning of each fiscal year. We map out an entire year worth of cohorts, interests. We use labor market data, as was previously stated, to really look at where are the jobs. We look at outcomes of programs. Some of our campuses and some of the programs that Kim just introduced have super strong employer partnerships. There are guaranteed interviews at the end of them. So we work very closely together for each fiscal year, and we map out cohorts that offer a diversity in sector. So like we talked about small business startup in the business space. I know in the finance and insurance space, we've run security industry essentials. That's another credential that's in high demand in that space. We've done some things in healthcare. And of course, we've talked about manufacturing here, but we really try to offer the women of Fresh Start a diversity in the career paths in which they are interested in pursuing. The other thing we do is we're able to leverage each other's career readiness and employment assistance strengths. So part of the Route to Relief model is that when they're done with their training program, we're responsible for providing career readiness and assisting with employment. And that's a woman of Fresh Start is so much more holistically supported by leveraging the strengths of both of our organizations. And then we have all the campus-based resources too, where there's this organic pathway to interviewing, which is really special. So just leveraging each other's strengths is a really important part of this relationship. We also have a FERPA agreement in place, which enables us to share information on academics and things with Fresh Start. So as we do our monthly check-ins and as Fresh Start staff work with their participants, we're together identifying any potential barriers that may come up and serve as a barrier to their successful completion. So our goal is to remove or reduce any barriers that may come up along the way. And another thing we've managed to do is really get innovative with funding. Route to Relief is funded through the American Rescue Plan. It's COVID relief dollars. It's very flexible. And we could go to the next slide. I'm not sure if I'm probably totally skipped ahead. I'm sorry. But one of the things we've been able to do is braid funding. So There was a time when we had a grant from the Arizona Commerce Authority that covered tuition. And then Route to Relief was able to provide the stipend. So a Fresh Start participant that came in, we actually were able to leverage 2 different funding sources to make sure we got as much resources as possible for that participant. Another thing we've seen happen is where there may not be maybe a Fresh Start participant is not eligible for Route to Relief for some reason for the tuition component. Fresh Start has been able to tap into their own funding to support tuition, but we are able to use the stipend dollars to support that student. So we have found, where permittable, ways to braid different funding sources to not only stretch the funding from each source further, but to also more holistically support the student through the financial resources that are available. So that's been another really important part of our work together. The other thing is just constant communication. We have, I think, monthly meetings. We bring our enrollment team together and the Fresh Start team together. There is an ongoing, constant line of communication open where we can provide feedback. Just Fresh Start can provide us feedback on processes. We can provide feedback on their participant success and grades and how they're progressing. So we're really just sharing information and continuously looking for ways to complement each other and improve upon the work that we're doing. With that, I think I'm right about a time, and I hope I covered everything I was supposed to.
You absolutely did. Thank you so much, Jason. I think this actually really summarizes it. It's really about our community. I have to tell you all, I live in Phoenix. I'm very proud of our community college system. I'm proud of Fresh Start. I'm proud of the people who are so dedicated to this work, and see it has so much potential elsewhere in our state and across the country, which is why we wanted to share this with you all today. But it really is a different way of thinking about aligning resources, supporting individuals, supporting our educational structure with positive outcomes, and making a difference. So I think with that, I would like to say thank you to each of our speakers. You've been fantastic. This is contact information, and I know it's a bit, we've been on for almost an hour and 15 minutes, but if there are any questions that anybody would like to pose, feel free to put them in the chat, and we're happy to answer right now. Otherwise, you can follow up with us directly. Thank you for the thank yous in the chat. I'm not seeing any questions. So I think with that, then we will bring this to a close. And again, my thanks to you, Kim, to you, Abdu, Jason, and to Dina, who was able to join us. We truly appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you for hosting.
Thank you.